Well, we live in a society that unfortunately stuffs grief in. We're rather death defying, and it's like, oh no, you'll get over it. And you never get over it. You never get over loss.
You structure it.
It becomes part of you.
Namaste. What if the grief you experience as you go through midlife wasn't about loss at all, but about growth? Grieving the loss of a loved one, a pet, or an identity actually can give you a chance to pause, reflect, and face what's real so you can move forward with clarity and purpose. Sounds simple, right? Maybe. But it's not so easy, especially if you do it alone. And that's why today I am so excited to bring on three of my good friends and amazing women that I'm partnering with to host a grief retreat for women this June in the beautiful mountains of North Carolina here in the United States. So we're going to be talking about how we came up with this idea and why it's a perfect place for women to gather, reflect, and heal. And I'm going to bring them all up right now and let them introduce themselves to you for a change instead of me reading somebody's bio like I normally do on this podcast. So let me see if I can add them to the stage. And there we go. Welcome, welcome, Katheryn and Patricia and Queen Jess Lee. So why don't we start? I'm going to go around and just have you each say, tell us a little bit about yourselves and where you are in the world right now. So I'm going to start with the woman on my left, although on your screen it might look like she's on my right. So Katheryn, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to pick on you first.
Okay. I'm Katheryn Napier. I'm a board certified clinical hypnotist and Reiki master and ordained minister. I've been doing it for over 30 years in Central Florida, and that's pretty much.
All right. Awesome. And then next to you, lovely lady, Patricia.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. I'm Patricia Alton, and I am an advanced angel therapy practitioner, ordained shamanic minister, spiritual teacher, Reiki master, and just here to help heal the world.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. And last but certainly not least, yes.
Hello, I'm Queen Jess Lee. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, very close to where the retreat will be. I am a master spiritual channel for over 20 years now, and I'm an author and poet, and I am a mother, and so that is a little splash of me.
And you're also a daughter, aren't you?
I
of somebody on this show.
Good point. Touche. My mother is here. She just spoke before me, Patricia.
Hi, honey.
We're all sisters, we're all mothers here. Mothers and daughters.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And so yes, Patricia, for those of you who might not have caught that for sure, because I know Katheryn's trying to be funny in there. I think we'll all adopt you, Jess. It's okay. So I thought we'd start off by having telling everyone who, if you're listening or watching us on YouTube today, how did we came up with this idea? And actually my dear friend, Patricia, she and I were the ones who sort of brainstormed this. And then we brought these other lovely ladies in along, and we'll talk to them about why they decided to do that. So can you tell us a little bit about how we came up with this idea?
Yes, thank you, Gloria. Well, it's been 3 years in the making. In September of 2023, Gloria and I were having lunch at Sinatra's restaurant in the renowned Casadega Spiritual Center in Lake Helen, Florida. Well, in doing so, we delved deep into what was going on in our lives and in the world. And wouldn't you know, that we started to really feel so connected that we wanted to share. And one thing that we shared were our personal losses. And in doing so, we felt a connection, a deep connection, a soul sister connection. And then by the end of our lunch, we said, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could gather a team together, you, me, and let's see who else would be perfect to perhaps do a retreat. And then we came up with, okay, we were thinking, let's make it kind of fun and light and not just heavy. So we came up with Good Grief Retreat. And we did kind of think of the Snoopy and Peanuts character. And we just thought this could be a lot of fun. There's fun and healing in sharing together. So we thought, first of all, Katheryn Napier, whom I had the honor of leading 11 retreats with for over a decade. And with her healing modalities, combined with my beautiful daughter, Jessica, whom I've also led retreats with, and we've done spirit circles together online, would they consider it?
Absolutely.
And let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to also show this too, because I found this wonderful little book that does show that, it's goodness and good grief. Oh, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So it was so wonderful how we came up with this idea and just, I mean, right then and there at that luncheon, we even were like coming up with activities, not only that we each could do, but that also that we thought Katheryn and Jess could do as well. And we just thought that it was just going to be amazing. So before we get to where we're going to go, but I think let's talk a little bit about, maybe have each of you, like Katheryn and Jess, talk about when we did come up with you or go to you and say, hey, we have this idea. What do you think? So what made you decide to jump on board? Katheryn, I'll go with you first.
Well, I felt like I was honored completely by being even asked, but I feel like I work with people in their subconscious mind where the traumas and the fears are actually stored. And in doing so, with my hypnosis training, I'm able to release that trapped emotions that are so deep down inside of people. And healing occurs and people are set free from their traumas and their grief. That's what I feel I bring to the table.
I love that. Yeah. And how about you, Jess?
Well, deep healing processes are one of my favorites. I trained in drama therapy for 13 years and I was going through multiple processes of healing and release work. And so that's one gift that I have in my being. I love the group process. I love working with women, my favorite population. I've been working with women from children on up, so all my life. And this team also drew me because I know that we work very well together, and we've done many connective experiences together. And so we have a deep history that feels like a beautiful foundation for a retreat. Also being very deeply connected with the Light Center. I've been going there since the 1990s. So that place itself is rooted in my history around healing and just how place heals, just nature heals, just being there. And being a medium and working with the other side and working with loved ones who crossed over, not that that's the only thing that we grieve, but I see how that world can be very alive. And so there's a beauty in the connection with the unseen. And I think that's a gift also that I bring to the table and love to access. And I feel like it's something that I will definitely offer during the retreat is that connection with the unseen. And so I'm super attracted to this work on multiple levels. And so I feel like it is just magnetic. And I'm so glad to be a part of this team.
I love it. Yeah. And I know I'm grateful that both of you, we're able to come into this idea that Patricia and I came up with to do this, because I really do feel that we've got just such a wonderful mosaic. Yeah, I think that's the word that comes to mind, because I'm trying to think, because we all have different gifts. Now, for those of you who are wondering about me, and if you haven't, if you're not a longtime viewer or a subscriber of the podcast, so for me, what I bring is sharing light language, and I found that is a really powerful modality in helping to release. Similar to what Katheryn does it through hypnosis, I do it through light language and releasing energetic blocks and helping you to be able to let go of some of the grief and to be able to really to heal. And as you say, or as I mentioned at the beginning, it's certainly, we're definitely going to be focusing in on losing, grief over losing loved ones, but there's a lot of other things that people grieve, and even sometimes it's just the way you're living, or losing a relationship maybe, or a change in that, or becoming an empty nester, all these different things, and they all bring up feelings of loss. And so that's what we're here to be able to help you to do, so to be able to manage it and grow from it, as I mentioned in the beginning. I think one thing we did, we just hinted on a little bit, because when I showed the picture of the light center, but Patricia, maybe you want to talk a little bit about why we decided to have the retreat in North Carolina, specifically Black Mountain and the lodge. And I might even share some more pictures of this wonderful place that we're hosting it at.
There's such a healing in the mountains, and each one of us have experienced a deep connection with Mother Nature, and that's where the root of all healing, I believe, begins. This is a safe, sacred space. There's no one around us. The lodge is like walking into grandmother's cabin. It just feels like a warm embrace. There's the fireplace and our meeting room where we'll be gathering, and outside is the forest. And there are hundreds and hundreds of acres, and there's the Smoky Mountains in the background. This is ancient, sacred land. Mm-hmm. It also needs healing from the devastating Hurricane Helene 2 years ago, and it's still being healed. And Black Mountain did suffer a lot, but fortunately, the lodge was untouched. This is where we will be staying. It will be home for 3 days, 4 nights of sharing, caring, and compassionate healing.
Absolutely. And one of the activities that we're even going to be doing as well is walking the labyrinth. And it's who wants to, maybe because I know Patricia, you've done Labyrinth. How about you, Jess? Maybe you want to speak to why is it, what's the benefit of walking a labyrinth, and what does it mean?
It's a very beautiful way of historically, people walk the labyrinth to emanate the pilgrimage. And when people were walking to holy sites, if they couldn't get to do that, they would walk the labyrinth. And so it's rooted in history. It's very sacred. And so I believe that, we give the guidelines of like, oh, you're walking in, opening up to what you're going to release in the center. And then I like the idea of when you come out, what are you bringing in? So yet I honor everybody's journey, because maybe somebody needs to do it differently. And so it's a very powerful ritual. And the word that comes, I channel for you is like it activates great healing and releasing and deep healing work. And the way that each of us come to the table is so unique, and the way that you experience the labyrinth is a unique experience. And so afterwards is just as powerful, just like speaking, what did this mean to me? How did I interact? Did I walk barefoot on it? Did I, go slow? Did I go fast? Like, everybody's journey is so specific to them. And it's really just like our lost journeys, right? They're also unique to us. And yet we find ourselves so deeply connected through our loss. And I believe that these shared experiences connect us and root us as a, I'm hearing the word soul group. We become, because we are called here. Our souls are called to the experience. And so that's the wondrous thing, is that, our stories will have notes of the same symphony. Like, oh, wow, you experienced that. Wow. And so, and I hear the word bedrock. It's a bedrock of foundation for new relationships. And I believe the labyrinth is such a representation of that, and of how we'll each experience the same thing, but in our own unique way.
Absolutely. I love that. Thanks so much. And Patricia, you look like you wanted to add on to that too.
The dome. This, the labyrinth is just outside of the dome, and we will be doing the labyrinth at night by candlelight with a bonfire close by. And if you could share the picture of the inside of the dome, this is sacred space. Domes are based on sacred geometry, which is the language of creation. It's all of the different geometric designs found in nature that created the universe. There's nothing really quite as sacred as going into a dome. And Katheryn and I right now are coming from the dome into land, which I have the honor of calling my home. And it is the sister to the dome in Black Mountain. So there you are. You'll have the experience in Black Mountain, and then also come visit into land as well.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, it is quite a remarkable structure. And if you've never experienced one, I encourage you to do that. And I should also let folks know, especially if you're listening as opposed to watching this, that if you want to learn more information about the retreat, you can go to goodgriefretreat.net. And I will have that in the show notes, so don't panic, but as well, but you'll be able to get all the information about all the different activities that we're going to be doing at the retreat. And it has more information about the lodge and the different types of accommodations that they have there. And I should also mention that space is limited, is that we are limiting it to 15 women, because one of the things that we want to do, well, number one, it's going to be much more intimate to have that. And one of the things that I know, Patricia, you and I had talked about would be to have like these little wisdom circles where we would each get to work with a few of women and be able to share, our own thoughts about healing and grief and things like that. Katheryn, have you given any thought to what you would share yet in one of those wisdom circles?
I would like to offer my services for hypnosis for relaxation and accessing their inner wisdom and higher self. It's a great avenue for doing that with hypnosis, or perhaps balancing the chakras, or with hypnosis, and then go to your higher self. It's a great transition.
Awesome. Yeah, I know. I can imagine that it's going to be really beneficial for people. Can you know what? I think for some people, I think people have an idea about what hypnosis is, but sometimes they also get it confused with like stage hypnosis. Could you explain a little bit more about what you would be doing that would be different?
Yeah, well, stage hypnosis is like 1 in 100 is that susceptible to suggestion. But what I do on the clinical level, spiritual level, is by accessing, and I'm very respectful of that. I don't like to go into the stage type hypnosis. Hypnosis is more like a daydreaming state, like when you get on a highway and you drive and all of a sudden you're at your destination. You don't know how you got there. They actually call that highway hypnosis. And it helps people to come in line with it. It's much easier to drift into a deep level of hypnosis if you're in a relaxed situation like the one we'll be in here. And people can either use it as an opportunity to meditate deeply or to allow themselves to go into deep hypnosis, either way. So it's not a positive thing that people have to make that decision about. They can just meditate if they like.
I love that. Yeah, thank you so much. I think that's helpful because I know there are people have maybe some preconceived,
Right.
Yeah, preconceived ideas about what it is, but it really is. It's just relaxing and allowing yourself to, to connect with your inner self, which is something I always like to tell people that's so important to be able to do. Patricia, I know one of the things that you talked about that you wanted to offer at the retreat was something that sounds really cool to me. Can you talk a little bit about the altar thing that you wanted to do?
Yes. Honoring our loved ones will be a big part of the retreat. And one thing that we will be creating is actually a soul altar. And I have an example of one that I did for my beloved cousin who passed 2 years ago. And this is just such a treasure to me because it's portable. I can fold it up and carry it in a notebook, my journal, and keep it close to my heart. And when I open it up and look at her picture, I just feel such a connection with her. And I thought this would be a wonderful, creative, get lost in it, almost like a soul collage, if you will. And the reason why I call it an altar is because it is honoring our loved one, and it's also something that we can carry close and have in our hearts.
Can you describe a little bit more about what's inside, especially for those people who are listening to this podcast, and so they don't have the benefit of being able to actually see what you have there?
Oh, good point. It is very visual. Well, first of all, what we will do is invite people to bring a photo of their loved one who they would love to honor and be connected with, and of course, it can be a person, place, or even a thing. And whatever they feel they really want to honor on this very special retreat and hold close in their heart and have a memorable, actually, it is a memorable honoring altar to have with them that they can carry in their journal. And what this one has is a picture of my beloved cousin and then words from her funeral service that I've pasted all up and throughout the whole altar. And it actually looks sort of like a church. It looks like a chapel, and it's a trifold. And we will be creating it with sacred items, scripture, also any words of encouragement that we'll be bringing. So it really is a soul collage, if you'd want to, get a better understanding of it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think it's going to be very cool. And it really is. You have it shaped the way you cut it out and everything, that it does look like a little altar, and it is this wonderful trifold that you can open up and see inside. So yeah, because we love, I know one of the things that I'm so blessed that number one, that I got to know you through Katheryn, actually, because she had invited me to your one-day retreat many years ago. And I know one of the things that you like to do at these retreats is to do some sort of craft. And I've made lots of very cool things over the years at them. And I have some of them hanging up in my office, in fact, right now.
Wait.
So I think maybe you can, I don't know. Well, I want to be able to have Jess talk as well, but I don't know. What do you all think about the activity? And well, Jess, because you're talking about writing as well, doing something creative. What do you think about that as a way to be able to foster healing? Who wants to? Go ahead, Jess.
I just want to comment a little bit. Is that these become spiritual tools, right? Like craft is like putting it together. But these become representations of like pieces of our spirit, and they become highly energetic, especially with the intentions that we put into these sacred objects. And that's what we're really doing, is creating sacred objects for us to honor our loss and also to rejoice over our losses, right? It's that continuum of what the grieving process is, because it's part of it is celebration, right? And honoring the pain. And I believe us connecting with it's a beautiful connection with creation, right? It's creation and then loss. And wow, we're creating something to represent something that we lost. It's pretty powerful when you hear it that way, and just intentions, touch, representation of the beauty that is the grieving process too.
Absolutely. Katheryn, you were saying something there. Can you want to elaborate a little more? What do you think about it?
I was feeling that she presented it so well, and the energy she puts into anything she does is amazing. So I thoroughly think that brings a lot to the table.
Yeah. Is there anything else any of you can think of that we need to, that I've maybe have forgotten, but what other important points do you think we should
Morning meditations.
Okay.
Morning meditations, just starting the day off with bright, sunny ideas. Whoever does it will be a wonderful thing, just starting off with the morning meditations.
Yeah.
I'd like to share a little bit about the process of a keening circle.
I was just thinking that. I love when we're in sync. Perfect. Yes. Yes. Talk about that. Yeah.
Well, we live in a society that unfortunately stuffs grief in. We're rather death-defying, and it's like, oh no, you'll get over it. When are you going to get over it? And you never get over it. You never get over loss. It comes.
You structure it.
It becomes part of you.
Yeah.
A keening circle is an ancient Celtic tradition of grieving the loss that we have experienced. And the way we do it is through literally opening up our hearts and souls, becoming raw and open, and we will be in a safe, sacred container. You'll be supported by 4 of us who know what it's like to grieve deeply and also how to hold you in sacred space. And then with the 4 of us together leading it, and Gloria will be opening the circle with her beautiful light language, which is connected with the divine.
Which is very unique in itself.
And then we will begin to open up, and we will be leading and facilitating the grief circle process, which we will just open up and we can let it all hang out. And trust me, we will, and we will be healed and transformed from it.
and we'll get our tummies full with our breakfasts and lunches and dinners. And I always like food.
Yes.
That's why I want to bring that up.
Yeah.
That's true. We are going to have, yes, meals will be provided for sure.
And they will be catered to
Yeah.
an exceptional chef from Asheville. And I'm not going to mention names yet because we're still in the process of confirming that. But I understand that this company that we're considering offers amazing food that is delectable for all.
Absolutely. And, you know, one thing I think, Katheryn, you just brought this up. I think one thing I want to stress too is that we really are, well, and Patricia, you also talked about this, that we really are endeavoring to provide a really safe container for you to be able to honor your feelings, you know, whatever stage of grief you're in, because there are many stages. And in fact, I know there's Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, I guess, wrote a book about the different stages of grief. So no matter what stage you're in, we're going to honor that and respect it and want you to know that you, you know, if you don't feel like crying, you don't have to cry. If you do feel like crying, go ahead. If you feel like screaming, you know, we're out in the woods. I think it'll probably be fine.
And, you know, I really want to speak unto what you just said because, sacred space, but also the word space. Because, yes, we have planned a lot of wonderful things for you. But sometimes what happens is you don't know what's going to happen in between the activities, right? You know, where you're sitting on a rock in some free time, and then you have the most powerful, potent experience. And it is creating that sacred space, and that, you know, the dome. I mean, the dome gets extended all the way around us. In this, I could see it now, just like this light dome that's going to hold us like a womb of protection, and all of us become mothers, sisters, you know, friends during that time, and that womb becomes a beautiful healing place of exactly what you said, whatever you need and intend for this to be for you, and so it feels very special. And all of us know how to hold space.
Yeah.
And so we've been doing it for years. And so we are so excited to meet you.
I know. Yeah. I'm just doing this interview with all of you again. It's just really bringing up this excitement, and I just can't wait. I really can't wait. And I hope that you're feeling that, because we all love each other, and we are going to provide that to you as well. You know, we are all one, and we just want to be able to be that place where you can feel safe to feel whatever you're feeling, and be able to have some fun too, and hopefully make some new friends, because, you know, no matter what age you are, but especially I think as you get into midlife, sometimes it's harder to make new friends. I read a lot. I'm in like lots of different groups on Facebook, and I'll hear women complaining about that they aren't able to make friends anymore as they get older. So this is a perfect opportunity for you to come and meet some new people and make new friends. I'm open to making new friends, because I would love it. You know, what do you all have to say about that?
I would like to speak to everyone out there who feels alone. And that's what I hear a lot, that people are feeling alone in their grief and they are lost. And we invite you, each one of us invites you to come in, to be with us and find your sisterhood, and know that you are not alone, and that we are here to hear your stories, to listen deeply from our compassionate hearts.
Wow.
And to be there for you through it all.
I want a hug.
Oh, awesome. Oh, you know what? I think This has been amazing. So I'm going to go around one more time and just have each of you just say one last thing. Maybe speak from the heart of why someone should come, or just what you wish for them. Katheryn, I'll start with you. What's your last
I
word on the
think
subject today?
between the four of us, the inner healing, one way or the other, you will be healed. Releasing those trapped emotions and using new loving emotions to replace the old emotions. I think this is an opportunity where one can't get you, the other one will. You can't escape, you will be healed.
I love it. I love it. How about you, Patricia? What's your last thought?
On the eve of Valentine's Day,
Yes, as
we
we're
want
recording
to
this.
share the love and just know that each and every one of you will feel the love from each one of us. And it's time for you to honor yourself, love yourself, and come and join us. Please, we welcome you. Thank you.
Love that. Absolutely. And Jess?
And you know, today is Galentine's Day. So women's retreat. So it's you know, it's interesting. I feel like just the power of the group process. It is pure magic. It is just it has literally shifted my trajectory in life multiple times. It has opened up my being to so many possibilities and opportunities and connections. And we are your healing team. And those who are meant to be with us will be there. And we open our magnets wide for that beautiful magnetism, and trust and know that I know you're ready to join us. I know you're ready, and we are so excited to give you a hug in person.
Me.
Absolutely.
Hug you in person. So
yeah, I appreciate it. Well, thank you so much, all three of you, for joining me today. It's been wonderful. And I also want to just echo, I think what Patricia was saying is that think about this really as a gift to yourself, a gift of self-love, of self-care. Retreats are a wonderful way for you to be able to do that. We all need some me time once in a while. And so take a break from your busy life and come spend the weekend with us and give yourself that gift. I know that you won't regret it. I'm sure of that. Absolutely. So thank you again, ladies, for being here. And I do want to thank all of you for joining me today on the podcast. And whether you're listening, hope you're subscribed if you're not already. And make sure that, and you can, if you're subscribed, make sure you're subscribed on YouTube as well. The link is down there. And I will be back next week with some more ideas on how you can make this next chapter of your life the best one yet.